I've read so many good books during the month of July, and I'm gonna be going through all of these, but this is gonna be a different type of video because I am actually not finished with the full month. There's about 10 days left of July, but I'm filming this video because I'm going out of the country. And I have so many fun videos that I want to film in August that I just like don't think that this video will be as fun if it's in August, if that makes any sense. There's just so many, like, I'm gonna be working on my dream home library, like organizing that, and I also have tons of fall videos coming where we're gonna get into cozy season. So I thought it would be really fun to end the month sharing the books that I've read so far, but then also share the stack of books that I'm taking with me on my 10-day Europe trip. My birthday's also in August, so I just didn't feel like I could fit in all of these videos there, but I did want to do a wrap up because I always do a wrap up. So I'm going to read the books or share the books that I have read, and then I'm going to share the books that I'm bringing with me on vacation, and you guys can watch the video that comes next week where I'm going to be sharing, or not next week, but like next upload day, where I'm going to be sharing the books that I read on vacation. It'll be like a vacation vlog. So these are the books that I have read so far, and the first one that I have to talk about that is so good that I don't think I even read in any video. I like started it in my video where I went to Chicago. It's The Wife Before by Shanora Williams. Guys, the ending of this, I did not see it coming. This entire story is so good, like such a great thriller. I did not want to put this down. This is probably one of the highest rated thrillers I've probably ever read. Just because, like, maybe because it was like unexpected to me. Like, I've never read any books by Shanora Williams that are like the thrillers that she's written. I've only read her romance, and this was so good. Like, her thrillers are just as good as her romances, and you guys know that I've been very vocal about how I've never found like a 5-star thriller. This was close. This is a 4.5, like just, it was so good. And I think the thing that was so good about it is I didn't really expect anything that was in the story. Like the whole story had me just like being like, okay, wait, what? Like the whole time. And it was also very fast paced. I just really loved it. This is also written by a Black author. Such a great thriller. I will continue to recommend this book again and again. And the reason why it was almost a 5-star is because for me, my criteria for 5-star reads has to be a book that I want to read again. And after I finished this, I was almost like, man, I could read that again because like there was so much I feel like I missed while I was reading it because I didn't really know how it would end. So yes, a very, very good thriller. I loved this one. It was so easy to read. It was very fast paced. I don't really want to tell you what it's about because it's a thriller and I think that you should go into it somewhat blind, but it is just so good. Please pick it up. I also read The Roommate Risk by Talia Hibbert, and this is a book that I really, really enjoyed. I initially thought that I wouldn't enjoy it as much as I did because I've read 2 books by Talia Hibbert, and they were both okay, but it was just like not amazing, you know? But this one, the tension in this is so good. And it's one of those stories where the forced proximity, you can just feel it building and building and building. And that's what I loved about this one. I will say this one is super, super spicy. Probably one of her spiciest books that I've read. And I ended up rating this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I almost rated it 4 stars, but then I just kept thinking about how some of the spicy scenes I would just kind of read quickly so I could get past them. And to me, like, my 4-star reads are the books that I just like, every single second of it, I'm like hanging on like the edge of my seat, wanting to get more and more and more from it. So again, I did love this one. If you're a spicy romance girly, you will absolutely be obsessed. The tension in this is so good, and I really love this. This is, if you've read books by Talia Hibbert and they were just like okay to you, pick up this one and see how you feel. I also read Love You a Little Bit by Kasha Thompson. Now I do think that I read a lot more spicy romances this month than probably any other month, which makes sense because it's July. Like in July, you know, it's like summer and like fun and like rom-com vibes. So like it totally makes sense, but I do think I was getting a little spiced out because I was reading so many books that were spicy and they were like heavy on the spice, which is why I think that going into August, I'm gonna wanna read more like contemporary fiction or romance books that have more like heartfelt and deep storylines and maybe not as much spice, or if there is spice in it, it's like not the driving force of the story. This book was so good. It was a small town, like, not cowboy, but it kind of felt like it was like a cowboy romance because he was someone that like worked at a like not a flower shop, but it's like a plant shop. I forget the name of like people who like take care of plants, but I really loved it. It was really, really good. She's famous. She's like a singer, and she has like a band. It's called like Whiskey Wild, I think it's called. And something happens in her life that leads her to have to go back home for a bit in this small town, and she just is she's reunited with this guy that she used to know, who he always had like a crush on her. I love Cassie Thompson's writing. It's perfect for new readers. All of her other books are on Kindle Unlimited. This one's not quite yet, but I think it will be because all her other books are. So just be on the lookout for that, because this one was released this year and it was so, so good. I also ended up reading Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book was phenomenal. The ending of it had me gasping. I was like very, very close to being in tears after reading this, just because I didn't expect all the emotions to come out, but like it felt so real, like what was happening. Just thinking about it like literally makes my heart ache, and the ending is it's just so good. But I do think that the beginning of this book did take a bit to get into, and I actually shared on my podcast recently. I was sharing books that I think are worth the hype, and I was sharing a lot of new releases that I think are worth or not worth the hype. Go listen to that episode if you guys want to hear more books that I've read that I think are like worth it or not worth it to read. This one was one I said I think is worth the hype, but it talked a lot about NASA, and I remember reading Carrie Soto is Back by this author, because I think this is like my 5th or 6th book by this author, and reading Carrie Soto is Back was heavy on the tennis, but like for some reason it didn't feel like too much. And maybe because like sports are like, the sporting world is something that I can like somewhat identify with in a way where it's like, if I were a tennis player, like this is how I might feel. NASA just felt like so out of the realm of like reality for me. So it was sometimes hard to like care about NASA. So yeah, I don't know. I really did love this one. I ended up rating this one 4 stars because again, the ending was one that I couldn't say it's like any less than a 4-star read. Like it was so good. But I also read Plussiz Players by Daniel Allen. This was such a good read. Again, this was one that was a bit spicier than I thought it would be, and it was also spicier than Curvy Girl Summer, but I did love the storyline in this, and I cannot wait to read more from Daniel Allen. Her books are just so freaking funny. Like if you want a book by a Black author that is just gonna like make you laugh and is perfect for the summer, this is a really good one. So if you are the type where you're not really thinking about fall until September, this would be a great book to pick up in August. And it's just witty, it's funny, it's all the things that I feel like you look for in a summer romance. I also read The Love Syllabus by Lauren Lacey. This one was a very sweet, very wholesome story, and I didn't really expect that from her because most of her books, they kind of feel like Brittany Cherry's writing, where it's like soap opera vibes, like that kind of thing. But I do feel like usually her books have some kind of like twist or something that like happens that you're just like not expecting. And this one didn't really have that. It was just very sweet, and maybe because it was shorter, which is funny because you would think that I would be like, oh yeah, bring on the short books because all of her other books have been long. But I don't know, this one could have been longer for me. It was very enjoyable. It was very cute. If you want a small town soap opera-y, angsty romance, this is a good one to read. I also read Nextdoor Nemesis, and this was another cutesy rom-com. I think that like this was the first like very beginning of my rom-com era. Like I read it at the beginning of the month, and I'm so glad that I did. If you like a rivals to lovers story that's not set in like a school setting, and it's also not set in a work setting, which is I feel like most of like the rivals to lovers plots, like it's very rare that you get that plot anywhere else. I just feel like people just don't know like how to write anything else other than that for rivals to lovers. This was a great one. It is about two people who one of them is like the HOA like guy who's like, you can't do this, you can't do this. And then she starts running for like the HOA president to like take his position because just basically just like to make him mad. And it's one of those that felt very realistic, and I loved it. It was so cute. I do think that I love this more because I read it. It's one of like the first books in my rom-com stage, and then I think I read almost too many rom-coms back to back to back. So, you know, listen to my reviews with a grain of salt, because I think towards the end I was like rom-commed out, but this one was really, really fun and enjoyable. And I also am currently in the middle of 2 books. I have not finished these yet, but I'm sure by the time this video is over, I will finish them. I'm reading Time of Your Life by Jessa Hastings. This book is so good. I'm almost finished with it. This one is a true like Insta love story. And I think that if you're someone who's never read anything from Jessa Hastings, this could be a good one to read, because most of her other books are very long. Like Conditions of Will is super long, and then obviously the Magnolia Park series is super long, but it's like a whole series. And then Never isn't long, but it's different than her like romance story. So I think that this is like a good introduction to her writing, and if you like this, then you'll probably like her other writing, because it's similar, like very similar. Rich people, drama, mess, like Insta love, 2 characters who can't get enough of each other, and like I feel like that's like her MO, and I eat it up every single time. Every single time. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it just yet. It is fairly short, but like I don't know how I'll feel, because I feel like her endings are always something that leave me just being like what the heck, like, so I have to wait till the ending to see how I feel. I'm also reading At the Waterfall. I think this is probably going to be the book that I'll read on the plane, because I think I'll end up finishing this today, and then I will read this on the plane. We have like a 9-hour flight, I'm pretty sure, to get to where we're going. We're heading to Amsterdam and then London, and maybe like we'll book a flight somewhere else. We're supposed to be in London for 7 days, so we might like find somewhere else. We thought about like maybe Ireland or like Paris again. We loved Ireland when we went, so we were like, maybe we'll do that again. Either way, I literally haven't even finished packing yet, so I have to do that. But by the time you guys see this video, I will actually be almost finished with my trip. So make sure you guys are following over on Instagram if you want to see things in real time. I also have a bunch of books that I'm bringing with me. So as of right now, this stack has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I know for sure I will at least finish 9 books in this month, but I know I'll be reading a lot on this vacation. So I feel like I'll probably end up somewhere around 12 to 15 books that I finish. Like that's my guess, just because I know I'll be reading a lot. I'll have a lot of time on the plane, like literally 9-something hours, and I don't really watch movies or shows for real. Like I just am a big reader. So I feel like I'll probably read for the most part on the plane. So this is the stack of books that I want to bring. Every single time I go on a trip, Brady's like, why are you bringing all this books? But I have to do it. I have to do it. I can't not have my books with me. And I know I have my Kindle, which I will also bring, but there is something to me about a physical book. I have to have it with me. I want to bring Everybody Ain't Your Friend. This is a thriller, and it's by a Black author. It looks like it's going to be really good. I don't really know what it's about, but it says they say you should keep your friends close and enemies closer, but sometimes reality might be the other way around. And one of you guys actually said that after I recommended this book in a haul, you picked this up and read it, and it was so, so good. So that's all I needed to hear. I feel like when you guys recommend stuff to me, it makes me pick up the books faster. This is also a book that I have brought on so many vacations and never read. Like I keep bringing it on vacations because I do want to read it, but I have this thing where if I'm reading a book that is new to me, like a new author and a new book to me, and it's thick, I get so nervous to read it. But I want to read The Plan by Janiyah Bennett because I already have 2 of her other books on my shelf that I haven't read yet. And I've heard that this book is really good. It said she had one rule, no boyfriend, so she was 25, but he had a plan, one that could change everything. Looks like it's gonna be great. I have to read this. I feel like when you're on vacation and you only have a set amount of books, you're kind of like stuck reading those, which is why I keep bringing it with me on vacation, because I'm like, I'm going to read it, and then I don't. So really excited to read that. That is not on my TBR for this month, but I did kind of pick some that were not on my TBR and some books that are. This is one book that is on my TBR and I really want to get to it. It says 2 sisters who mean the world to each other, a secret that could tear that world apart. Pretty sure one of the sisters gets kidnapped. While she's gone, the husband of that woman, like 10 years later, ends up falling in love with someone else, and then the wife ends up like she gets released and she comes back. She's not kidnapped anymore, and she's like, oh, my husband's like married. So I think that that's like the dynamic that you're seeing in this story, but I don't know if he like marries his sister or what, but either way, that's kind of crazy. But I want to read that. It's been on my TBR this month, so I want to finish it. This is a book that was not on my TBR, but I feel like I've talked a lot about how I'm really getting into the contemporary fiction mood. And part of me is like, oh, well, maybe just like put on your TBR next month. But it's like, no, I'm in the mood right now. Like, who cares what's on my TBR this month? I should just read what I want to read. And I don't really have a ton of contemporary fiction on my TBR because I've just been in a romance mood. But I've read like so many cutesy romances back to back to back. Like, literally, like, you saw how many I've read. Like, so I need to get like a little bit of a break between those. And this looks really good. It says 2 women, 2 eggs, 1 life-changing switch. And I'm pretty sure both women had like these eggs. And then I want to say they do, yeah, they do IVF. And one of them has a miracle child that they birth, and the other one doesn't work out for her, but come to find out that the hospital switched their eggs. So really, the egg that was like the miracle child is the other woman's baby because it was like her egg. So this is written by a Black author, and you see just like the push and pull of feelings and, you know, the question of like, who is a mother, what makes a mother. It just looks like it's gonna be a great story. And I think I remember Jocelyn or Joyce Wesley reading this book, and she really loved it. So she's like the queen of contemporary fiction books, and I always love her recommendations. And then I also picked up Yinka, Where Is Your Husband? Again, I'm in the contemporary fiction mood, so I'm just gonna run with it. I could easily get on vacation and like not be in that mood anymore, but because this is not a beach vacation, I almost feel like I still will be like wanting to read contemporary fiction. I'm a bit like, not romanced out because I still want romance in my stories, but like the rom-com type romance. Like I feel like I need something deeper right now. And maybe I'll read like this book and then just be right back into my rom-com faves. Like, I don't know. But this book right here is by a Black author as well. And it says a 30-something Oxford-educated British Nigerian woman whose mother's constant refrain is, Yinka, where's your husband? And it says, meet Yinka. That's who she is. I actually picked up this book in the library, and then I had to take it back before I could read it, but I wanted to read it so bad. But we've had trip after trip after trip. Like, we're gonna be gone for 10 days, and then we'll be back for like 1 day, and then we'll be gone out of the town for my birthday for a few days, and then I'll be back for like 2 days, and then I'll be gone in South Carolina for like 6 days, and then I'll be back, and it's like we'll be halfway through August by then. So I love going to the library. One of you guys actually was saying that you would love a cozy library vlog very soon. I would also love that. I just don't want to get library books right now when I'm traveling so much. Like, we also, you know, just got back from a bunch of other trips. Like, we were in Florida, and then before that we were, I mean, I can't even remember half the places that we've traveled this summer. We've just been traveling so much. So I'm really excited to you know, finish out our trips and then do some more library like vlogs and pick up some books from the library. I also am the queen of getting library books that are books already on my shelf that I own, because it makes me read the books, and it's a great way to support the library too. And the more books that I check out, the more that the library can see that people are utilizing the resource and hopefully get more grant funding and so forth. But yeah, really excited to read this one, and so many of you guys said that you loved this book when you read it. I also do have some cutesy romances on here because I cannot just like not have some cutesy romances. So Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. This has been a book that has been on my TBR so many times, and I think I keep putting it there because I want to read it, but then I know it is about grief, so then partially I am just like, do I actually want to read it? This is about a girl who's grieving the loss of her best friend, and you see her work through that. And she also ends up, I think, falling in love as well. I'm sure she has to have some trust issues, because like falling in love after losing someone that you love has to be hard in the same time frame. So I've never read anything by Cara Bastone, and I thought about reading Ready or Not first, but so many people have said that this book is even better. So excited to read it. And then I also want to read Till Summer Do Us Part. I have a bunch of books with summer in the title in my TBR for next month, which I shared with you guys already, but this is one book I did want to read this month, and it's on my TBR for this month, so I think that it's perfect. Instead of letting it roll over into the new month, it says, I got what I wanted. I became buddy-buddy with my boss in an instant, but the cost would be hefty. Finding a husband by tomorrow. Megan Quinn's books are spicy, they're funny. So I feel like having a good mix of like all these books will be good for vacation, because again, I'm gone for 10 days. I have 2 9-hour flights, and I also have another flight somewhere in there where like during our London week we might go somewhere, and then when we go to Amsterdam, like I think we'll also, or when we go from Amsterdam to London, I think we'll also be flying then too. So like lots of flying, and then we also don't really have any plans while we're there. So like I feel like I'll be reading a lot at night or in the morning whenever I figure out like the time zone difference and stuff. So yeah, really excited to get into some of these. Again, I do think I'll probably end out the month with like reading maybe 12 or 15 books, somewhere in there. That's my guess. I could be wrong. I could just end with the 9, which 9 books is great too. 1 book is great. I feel like this has been the year where I found more books that I love than any other year. And it's because I am just like leaning into what I want to read when I'm in the mood to read it. And I always make a TBR video every single like month, but I never stick to it, like ever, like literally ever. So I make it more just like because it's fun, you know, but I really lean into what I'm in the mood for. And so that's why I do have a pretty good amount of contemporary fiction books in this stack that I want to bring with me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and comment below your favorite book of the month, what you've loved, you know, out of what you've read, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.